Battle of the Century, folks. Here we have player 1 locking in SubZero. There is no UI at all.
That's interesting.
And he's fighting Yi, the dinosaur.
We see that the dinosaur is taking an interesting choice as to not move. And we can see that hitbox is a bit messed up. Yes, we have always known it to be a bit messed up, and it is messing up SubZero quite a bit here. Unfortunately, we can't tell what is currently happening and who is winning, because there is no KO coming out from
Surprise KO coming out from the Yi dinosaur. Can SubZero bring this back with the broken hitbox? He doesn't seem to get the fact that he can't hit him. Not dodging his moves is quite unfortunate. SubZero coming out with the Mortal Kombat combos.
Isn't really taking advantage of the low hitbox moves, like that hit the lower part, and he's really trying to hit these high hitbox moves, but that ain't gonna work as E is kind of lower down.
And it looks like one more hit will do it off from the Yi dinosaur. As I predicted. Unfortunate battle, however, still a good one.
Moving on into winners.
Next up, we have Blossom versus Bubbles.
Here we have a canon match coming up, Blossom versus Bubbles, obviously from the same series. So it's really a roll of the dice who's gonna win here. They're both known for their extreme skills.
Now, as we all know from the anime, Bubbles has frost breath, and no, Bubbles can speak Spanish. Blossom has frost breath.
As we can see, Blossom is really trying to keep her distance, and Bubbles is trying to rush in there. Blossom using...
Bubbles coming out with a huge move, activating her flying mechanic, solidly flying through the air. Blossom, coming out with a move. Bubbles somehow dodging it.
Blossom trying to use those real space aerials to try to zone out Bubbles, but it's not working because Bubbles is just rushing in there.
Blossom appears to be the inferior sister. What's this?
Unbelievable! A point-blank laser coming out from Bubbles, knocking Blossom back, which might be a favorable position for her, but she does not take advantage of this, rushing in just like Bubbles did prior.
And here we see Bubbles using a lot more range moves to try and guarantee the round as she is ahead.
One more laser from...
and here we see the wonderful tactic of going under the map in order to avoid...
Blossom leaves! She has left the tournament!
That's gonna be a victory for Blossom. He's salty, so she does not want to deal.
Blossom's quite salty after that one.
The round is not ending. Good joke. Just finally wins.
Round 2.
Are we gonna see the same thing we did last? Only one way to find out. We can see Bubbles still rushing in there and Blossom missing all of her attacks. Ooh, a missed laser by Bubbles will cost her something. However, Blossom does not capitalize on this.
If Blossom plays her cards right, she might be able to turn this around.
Now, jumping up too high. Okay, she's slow.
She's leaving. She's left again.
Alright, if this continues, then Bubbles will have won, and Bubbles will move on to the next round. Here we see Bubbles just taunting Blossom, disrespecting her. And we're gonna fast forward real quick. Bubbles saying when she does, she sounds like she's saying the N-word.
So, Bubbles wins by the fact of Blossom having left. And
We see the stall tactic from Blossom coming out, but she doesn't realize that she was actually lower health than Bubbles, so it isn't gonna work, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure that's banned from tournament play, as we've already ruled. So that's she's disqualified anyway.
Here we have an unforgettable battle. Ron McDonald, the man who fed millions, versus Adolf Hitler, the one who killed millions.
yeah.
Actually, Ronald fed like billions.
Billions. I'm pretty sure everyone on the planet Earth has like eaten at McDonald's.
Yeah, at least.
Ooh.
Alright, so we have Hitler.
Hitler getting off a sweet
Nice
combo at
combo.
the start.
McDonald's throwing his burger.
Ronald getting the startup, the infinite possibly. Can Hitler get anything from this? Ronald's gonna have to make quite the mistake. Hitler teleported behind him, but it cost him nearly all of his health.
Oh,
Oh,
Ronald.
but Hitler's secretary pops up. Oh,
Back in.
who would have guessed? Ronald has help too. What an amazing first round. Ronald takes it. Round two. Hitler getting early.
Very impressive here.
Ooh. Early high damage for Hitler.
Holy. Is this gonna be the. Oh, it's not a perfect though. Oh. He gets thrown. Will this be the reverse sweep coming out from Ronald? Ronald getting an explosion from his own bomb.
That's
Hitler.
Unfortunate. Hitler taking the second round.
We're off to round three.
Round 3, the first round 3 in the tournament.
Oh. Oh.
Countering with his own ulti.
Oh. What a perfectly prepared meal.
He's serving it up. That does massive damage. But
Hitler pulling out the tank, getting some.
throwing him out.
Yeah, some of that range damage from the tank. But he teleports! Oh, getting grabbed. This is not a good position for
And
Hitler.
Donald takes the round. And Donald will be going on
To the next round.
verse either Moon or Broly. Broly fighting on what's this planet?
Namek.
That's the moon.
And he's fighting the moon.
On Namek.
Yup.
So we have a home series advantage here. And Broly ascending.
Powering up.
Beyond.
To the legendary Super Saiyan. Now, how is he gonna face up against a giant rock? Well, by merely
Moon ascends, jumping up, getting off so little damage against Broly's not doing much. But neither is Broly. Broly rushing in there, trying to do his best to get the moon. But the moon just
both having measly exchanges against each other, can't do much against either. Is the moon blocking? We don't know.
Broly, instead of being like, I'm gonna wait for you to come down, he says, nah, I'm flying up to you. And it kills him with a slam attack.
The moon evening up the score a bit by smashing Broly into the ground with gravity.
Unfortunately, Broly's gonna stay ahead. Oh, that's some huge damage coming out from the moon. He's gonna use his rolling attack to deal some good damage against Broly, and it seems to be about even now.
My oh my, we don't even know the health score, but Broly looks like he's taking a lot of damage from the moon.
It's been about this entire match, but the moon is taking a ton of damage.
And the moon loses round one.
Round 2 of Broly
The moon just
versus the moon.
wasn't able to compete with Broly's fast and aggressive nature. He let him ascend. He just let him get off all his combos.
Which is quite unfortunate because the moon did put up a good fight.
And here we are going back into round 2. Hopefully the moon does better this time. Starting off with good combos.
The moon does seem to have quite the lead, but Broly is bringing bringing it back with some of the key blasts.
The moon is
Broly
currently
not-
ahead,
Ooh,
but
he
Broly's
trapped
getting.
him in a corner, and Broly's gonna take way too much damage.
Broly not
Now
even
what if he
realizing
fights-
he's about to die.
It's gonna be
Broly
really
does
hard
not
for
wanna
Broly
be
to
fighting
recover
in a
from
corner,
this.
as that is what the moon is good at. If he gets you into a corner, he just does way too much damage, and it looks like the moon is gonna be taking round 2.
Round 3, second one in the series. Quite surprising, in fact. Ooh, Broly starting off with the key
Oh,
blast.
the moon
Smash.
not having fast enough reactions. It's gonna take a while. And he's trying to lead Broly into his corner like he did last time, and he's gonna do some huge damage off of. Broly got some stuff starting to get. He's not able to maintain the combos that he was at the. We have some huge damage on him. It looks like Broly's getting quite the starting lead. He might be able to take the moon and get into a corner, sending it to his full attack.
The moon keep using the same move. Might not help him this time around. However, the score is changing in the moon's favor.
Oh, not anymore. As the Broly is using his phase to dodge the moon's attacks, he is learning now, but Broly.
It's quite evened up.
Ooh,
This could go either way.
Oh,
anyone's
Broly-
game.
And
The moon
And
wins.
Broly goes down by a meteor smash coming from the moon.
Okay.
And Moon will be going on to face Donald. Alright, after our judges have reviewed the VODs and tested Yi's controller, we have decided that he was in fact cheating and as disqualified because of that. So SubZero will be moving on to face Bubbles.
Therefore, in semifinals, we have two fairly face-on hitting characters: SubZero versus Bubbles. Bubbles starting off with a giant laser combo. SubZero not taking that much damage. Another laser coming up from Bubbles. SubZero rubbing it off. Bubbles flying up.
Punching the air.
SubZero can't really do much
Can't
against
compete with the
Bubbles.
aggressiveness. SubZero's trying his best to get in there, but Bubbles is
Ooh,
blocking at the right
amazing
time.
hitboxes made by SubZero there, but he cannot deal with the constant lower body aggression. Bubbles stands there waiting for a counterattack. Bubbles perfectly timing that tail whip.
Bubbles blocking a lot of SubZero's damage. She's perfectly timing these blocks. I don't know what to say.
Nearly taunting him at this point by just standing there, knowing that he can't hit her unless he gets her with the low hitting hitboxes, as he did not do against the battle against C. This may not be a favorable matchup for SubZero for his inability to hit small targets, but he is trying.
Yeah, he keeps using these high hitting moves. I don't know when he'll learn. He'll learn to just use those low striking moves, as Bubbles' hitboxes is quite small.
Let's see how round 2 will change. We see Bubbles charging up nearly a full bar. Will we see another laser coming out early laser coming out from her as we do the other times?
Maybe
Bubbles,
perhaps even a double laser, as was shown in Game 1.
Bubbles,
Which was an interesting tactic, to say the least.
Bubbles hitting maximum damage on SubZero's upper body this time around, instead of just focusing on his lower body.
And we see that SubZero has learned a bit, as this time it's a lot more even. Bubbles, of course, still ahead, because he's using some of those... Oh, but whenever he uses those low striking moves, she just jumps up and flies up, and she decides to take the high point, striking the air for some reason. I can't say I agree with this tactic.
The moon is in fact spectating this game. Bubbles has left.
She flies up. using the same tactic that Blossom used. However, this time she has more health than SubZero, so that will result in victory. Tactic, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
The stalling tactic does seem to have worked out for Bubbles. Time over. SubZero got timed
Well,
out.
I mean, Peach can't do it in melee.
You're right, but like...
We'll give her a warning.
Yeah, we'll give her a warning. She can't do it in grand finals. Our last match of semifinals here we have the Moon versus Ronald McDonald. Both showing very promising combos, bringing the both matches to round 3. Let's see what they will change here. Ronald McDonald
seems to have spectated the last match and knows that blocking is very effective against the Moon. But however, the Moon is currently in the lead. Ronald not doing that much damage to the Moon. How the Moon doing not that much damage either, as Ronald is blocking his attacks.
Also, the Moon making very susceptible. The Moon doing very well against Ronald McDonald, not being caught in his combos because the Moon can't due to his sheer force of gravity. Ronald might be stuck here, not being able to pull off his combos. Now, we could see a hamburger throw or a fry jump by him, however, he just decides to run into the Moon.
We know that Ronald is a very combo-eccentric character, and we know that combos don't work against the Moon, so Ronald's gonna have a hard time not trying to zone out, as Segward said. He could just stay back and zone him out, as that's the Moon's counters. However, he's trying to rush him, and it's clearly not working out for him.
Now let's see, will Ronald learn? No, he does not, bringing this around to a very long, drawn-out game. However, it ends. Ronald. Oh! Ronald possibly getting a combo off because his noises. But no, he's just getting smashed by the Moon over and over. What a slaughter.
So much for those predictions. Ooh, using his roll attack, that's so effective. I don't know why the Moon doesn't do it more. It seems to have done so much damage to...
Ronald, if he takes one more big hit, he will die from the Moon. And we will see
Ronald just standing there, not doing anything. A surprising tactic. He is blocking. He's trying to play it safe from the Moon. However, even if you block, you still take very little damage. And Ronald can't afford to take that right now.
And that's a KO from Ronald.
The Moon going into grand finals.
Very disgusting.
okay.
Great.
$16 if we had more time.
Welcome to grand finals of Let Them Fight, official episode 1, tournament edition. We hear
holy, so much damage coming out from the Moon. The Bubbles just can't take it. She's not using her flying to advantage, and she's not trying to zone out the Moon at all. The Moon just smacking Bubbles around.
Bubbles playstyle with the rough, abrasive behavior might not help her out. Maybe flying would be a tactical decision this time around. The Moon just stomping her as the Moon does.
If Bubbles were to fly and shoot lasers,
going
anti-climatically going to the Moon.
Let's see if Bubbles will change her route this time around.
The Moon certainly seems to be going with the same exact tactic of just going up and coming down. If Bubbles were to go up, shoot a laser at the Moon, then Bubbles may be able to counter the Moon. But the Moon cancels her
with the cancel of Bubbles ultimate. What amazing tactics by the Moon!
Whoa. What was that? A frame 1 move cancel? A frame 1 ulti cancel.
That's right.
It's very surprising coming up from the moon, as he has a lot of delay, and it's extremely hard to time that. So the moon definitely is a
Very
good-
incredible,
and
very incredible play by the moon.
determined going to the moon.
The moon wins.